Coming up on Valley News Live at 6, we'll tell you about the lottery ticket hub of the Metro as they deal with the craziness of the biggest jackpot ever.
Plus, we follow up on a story that we brought you last week as Grand Forks isn't the only county experiencing food stamp delays.
And confusion for some GOP voters in North Dakota. We'll tell you what they're fighting about. Valley News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 6.
Good evening, everyone. You felt it, you heard it.
Thankfully, yesterday's high winds have moved on, giving crews a chance today to clean up messes all across the valley. This building under construction in South Fargo blew over along 35th Street South. Some homeowners were out trying to find their kids' trampolines. In a couple of cases, they were found on roofs. There were basketball hoops down, even some business signs toppled. If you raked leaves recently and your neighbors didn't, you probably have theirs in your yard, and then again, they may be miles down the road.
Just a lot of damage. But what about this week? We have 2 first alert storm days ahead. Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson breaks it down for us. Hutch?
Stacy, thanks so much. Good evening, everyone. Indeed, we'll get you started right off the bat with the headlines. We're watching for the increased potential for a major winter event beginning Thursday for many of us and lasting into Friday. We could even have some areas of thunder, and let's get right to the latest. Here is a look at what we're expecting. Wednesday night showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, particularly in our southern counties. Same thing goes Thursday, and in fact, we could have a strong storm or two in southern Minnesota. We'll keep you posted on that. For our area, the eastern third of North Dakota, western Minnesota, right now it looks like we'll be on the warm side of the system, so rain much of the day, but we will cool off, and by the drive time, many in our viewing area will have wind and snow combining to create travel trickery across the valley. The impacts then, Thursday night's drive time, Friday morning's drive time will be impacted for the majority of our viewing area, the way things are looking, with serious snowfall potential. The greatest snowfall impacts look to be in areas that you see in white. Central Dakotas, northwest Minnesota, right now with the track of the storm. The American model says this is where it's going to be. And one of the reasons why we have higher confidence that this is going to be the case is because that old European model agrees with that same area. Tonight we're tracking a few light flakes of snow making their way up to the north and east as we go through the evening. Not all of that is even reaching the ground as we see here in the Devil's Lake area. Temperatures tonight, look at that, whoop, going up. Southeast winds, a little gusty, but not as gusty as yesterday. And we'll have detailed look at the storm system for late in the week and tell you where these flakes are flying here in just a couple of moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
And make sure you have the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app so you can keep up the weather anytime, anywhere. You'll get the latest forecasts and conditions so you can plan your day. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store and download it for free.
A Moorhead man is set to spend more than a decade behind bars after pulling the trigger and killing a man last spring. 20-year-old Willie Sparkman Jr. was originally charged with conspiracy to commit robbery, attempted aggravated robbery, and second-degree murder in the death of 24-year-old Abdullahi Muhammad Abdullahi. The first 2 charges were dropped. A Clay County judge sentenced Sparkman today to 150 months in prison and gave him credit for the 500 days he's already spent in jail. In May 2020, Sparkman and 19-year-old Christy Vo were trying to rob Abdullahi for rent money. The 2 attempted armed robberies in Fargo earlier in the day. Sparkman told police he didn't mean to kill him.
Valley News Live is continuing to investigate the safety at Dollar General stores. We want you to join us tonight on Valley News Live at 10. See how a city council meeting in North Dakota could hinder the future of the store in their area.
The strong winds yesterday were partly to blame for a deadly crash in Lemoore County. Highway Patrol says a semi was passing a pickup on Highway 281 north of Edgeley when the pickup's trailer flipped and detached in the wind, causing the pickup to rotate into the path of the semi. The semi hit the pickup, which then rolled onto its passenger side. Both people in the pickup had to be cut out of the vehicle. 64-year-old Renee Wool of Cullum died. The 69-year-old driver, John Wool, is being treated for serious injuries. The semi-driver wasn't hurt.
A man is facing drunk driving charges after crashing his car into the Red Pepper restaurant in Grand Forks. Police say 22-year-old Chase Wallace missed a curve on University Avenue just before 10 last night, drove over the curb and smashed into the building. Wallace was treated for injuries and charged with DUI.
Fargo police say they arrested a woman for hitting and spitting on an officer early yesterday morning. The officers say it happened in the 600 block of 21st Street South. They say 35-year-old Alyssa Koval of Fargo was under the influence of drugs and officers were trying to help her. They say Koval hit an officer in the face after spitting on them. She was arrested for assault on a peace officer in contact with bodily fluids.
Last week, we had a whistleblower story about delays in food stamps coverage in Grand Forks County. That delay was cited for shortage in workforce, and the North Dakota Health and Human Services has confirmed with us that they are seeing the issue in other larger communities as well.
Our larger human service zones are the zones that we're seeing a larger turnover in staffing, especially on the eastern part of the state. Other human service zones are starting to assist them with their workload to ensure that, again, our services are delivered in a more timely manner.
They're also experiencing increases in services such as the Child Care Assistance Program. That's serving about 40% more families than a year ago.
In the lead up to Election Day, in-party fighting has led to some confusion for GOP voters. If Measure 1 passes, lawmakers and governors will be subject to term limits, but recent social media posts have some voters confused. A Facebook group called North Dakota Republicans, which is a private forum for sharing conservative ideas, some posters were encouraging a yes vote on Measure 1. Posts have confused some people who mixed up personal opinions on the North Dakota Republicans page with the official position of the Republican Party. The GOP doesn't have an official position on term limits, but the state party chairman and a number of elected Republican officials have publicly opposed that measure.
Election Day, of course, is tomorrow, and if you haven't voted yet, we have all the information that you need to know ahead of time. Go to valleynewslive.com or your free VNL News app and click on our election homepage. If it's a ride to the polls that you need and keeping up with voting, well, Matt Bus has got you covered tomorrow. Officials say when getting on the bus, let the driver know that you're going to or coming from a polling location, and you won't be charged a fare. Rides are also free to and from the sites with Paratransit. Officials do say just let the dispatcher know when you're scheduling your ride. For more information on the routes, click on this story on our webpage.
WeFest has announced the main stage lineup for the 40th year of the Country Music Festival. Morgan Wallen, Brad Paisley, and Kane Brown will each headline one of the nights, August 3rd through the 5th. Others heading to Sioux Pass Ranch and Detroit Lakes next summer include Brothers Osborne, Chase Rice, and Travis Tritt. Tickets are available now. We have that link on your VNL News app. Later on Valley News Live at 6, we'll tell you about the Lottery Hub selling the most tickets in the country right here in the Metro.
But next in weather, we have some wintry weather tonight, a few flakes flying, and it's actually coating the roadside on Highway 2 near Rugby. This snow shower activity is moving into northeast North Dakota right now. Gorgeous setting sun with crisscrossing clouds aloft. Your forecast looks wintry. Details are straight ahead.
This is Valley News Live.